Live from San Diego, it's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Askow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Askow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. I'm your host, Jeff Askow, and sitting in with me today is our good friend Kenny C. We'll bring him in just a minute. If you're listening to us on Sports World Radio, thank you very much, or even honestanswerradio.com, or over there on Facebook, /Sports World Radio, and even on Spreaker. And don't forget, kids, we're also on iTunes. Go check us out on iTunes, Sports World Radio, all one word on iTunes. With all that out the way, let's bring in our co-host, our good friend, Kenny C. What's going on there, pal?
I'm doing pretty good. Hello, everyone. What's going on? I'm just so happens to be in a good mood. So I can't complain whatsoever. How are you, man?
I'm doing really well, man. Thank you very much. Now, you and I were having a conversation on the phone before we went on the air, and it's totally not what I wanted to start with the show, but I'm going to because we were having a conversation about it, so I might as well. We were talking about the Major League Baseball playoffs, believe it or not.
The format,
while we were waiting on hold to come on the air. And you know me, I got this thing going on with Wes and the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I checked the standings before we came on the air today, and if I remember correctly, the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Cincinnati Reds are both a game and a half behind St. Louis Cardinals. Now, the St. Louis Cardinals are not playing today. Cincinnati's playing Chicago, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing the Texas Rangers. Okay? And I also asked for them to go on a 10-game losing streak, which meaning the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they've lost 4 in a row. So I'm almost halfway there with that. Okay, now what we were talking about was those 3 teams, the Cincinnati Reds, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the St. Louis Cardinals. Those 3 teams in the National League Central will make the we'll make the playoffs or whatever the hell you want to call it. But 2 of those teams will be the wild card teams. They will play each other to go into the playoffs. That's my interpretation of the wild card. Kenny doesn't see it like that. Kenny sees it as if they made the playoffs. I don't see it as they're making the playoffs. They're making a wild card game. The wild card winner will go there on and play the next team in the playoffs and go move on into the playoffs and get their playoff series going. That's how I see it. Kenny, you don't see it that way, do you?
All I'll say is, MLB and NFL are probably the only major sports that has the quote-unquote wild cards. Now, for the NFL format, they have, 4 wild card teams, 2 for NFC, right. 2 for AFC. Mm-hmm. I consider them playoff teams, even though maybe they're not facing the number 1 or number 2 seed from the get-go. And I guess that's the same case with MLB. Now, you got your division winners and you got your wild card teams, and I guess whoever has the best records have home field advantage, obviously.
Right.
And for the wild cards, they got to start on the road. And I guess maybe you feel they are not playoff teams is because maybe they're not facing.
Avast virus database has been updated.
Thank you. Okay, my virus update has been updated. Thank you. I can't control that.
So as I was saying, I guess maybe you feel the wild card teams for the MLB are not necessarily playoff teams.
The teams that make the playoffs are the 3 division winners in each league.
Now, for as far as this bet is concerned, between you and Wes, is it for them to make the playoffs, period, or just getting the division?
I think it's the World Series. To tell you the truth.
Well.
I think it's the World Series. To tell you the truth. He hasn't had a good week, my friend. He has not had a good week. Pittsburgh hasn't won a game in 4 games. The Steelers got freaking trounced by Tennessee.
It wasn't that. I mean, it's not like they got blow out or anything. They lost by a touchdown.
16-9?
It's
at home?
Okay, it was against a Tennessee team that people haven't expected that much from. And it wasn't that much of a high-scoring game. Yeah, they only scored a touchdown. And they got a safety, and that's mostly on the Tennessee side. I mean, because basically the guy that was getting the kickoff kneeled down, but he didn't down after he kind of went past the end zone.
Right, I know. It's kind of funny.
But yeah, it's of all the Steelers, I feel bad for Mike Tomlin. He's a great coach. He's a Super Bowl champion. And the NFC North. It's just not as stacked as it once was. So maybe I feel like the Steelers are not out of the playoff picture after one game. But Chris Johnson, he didn't really play all that well. And the offense just couldn't get it together. Pouncey, the center, gets hurt.
He's done
for the season.
Yeah, how about that?
And a veteran, Larry Foote, he gets hurt. He's done for the year as well.
Yeah.
So it's not a good look. I feel bad for Mike Tomlin. I hope they can regroup, but it's going to be hard to do so with your starting center. And Big Ben, I mean, he takes a lot of hits throughout his career, and I don't know how he's going.
He's not a fast mover or a runner.
Nah.
He can't move out the way, man. He's a big lumbering dude. And I was reading something earlier where he got sacked. How many times did he get sacked?
I think 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, was it 4 or was that number 8?
I thought it was 4 or 5.
It could have been 4 or 5. I'm looking for it again to see if I can find it. But yeah, he got sacked a bunch of times, and that just doesn't. Here it is, right here. He got sacked 5 times. He got sacked 5 times, where Jake Locker only got sacked once.
And they already lost like 2 offensive linemen in the preseason, so that obviously didn't help.
No, they're not. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble. They're already calling for Haley's head, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Todd Haley. I mean, he and Big Ben hasn't really seen eye to eye since he became the coordinator. So, and Steelers. I mean, this is a team that's usually in the playoff picture, but I'm not so sure this year. But because the NFC, the AFC North is not all that. It's not a team other than Cincinnati, and after they lost to Chicago, this division to me is still open even after all the teams lost. So I'm not going to count Pittsburgh out because of how the division looks right now, but they definitely need to get it together.
Well, listen, Pittsburgh lost, Cincinnati lost, Cleveland lost, and Baltimore lost. They all lost.
First time since 2002.
They all lost their first game. How crazy is that? They're all in first place with no wins. Right?
Yeah, that's a very odd circumstance.
They're all tied for first with a record of 0-1.
I mean, it's one thing to have maybe 2 teams winning the first game and other 2 loses, but yeah.
No, yeah, Cleveland lost to Miami, which I happened to. Did you pick Miami to win that game?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I did too. Whatchamacallit? Sean laughed at me and told me I was crazy. Ha!
Well, the Miami Dolphins, you got Mike Wallace. He wasn't much of a factor. But then again, you're all taking on the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Reading, I mean, I don't know. He's just the dude. He's like 28, 29 years old, and he's entering his 2nd season. He came out of Oklahoma State, so he must have started his football career a bit too late, because normally quarterback starts in the 22, 23, maybe 24 years old. This dude is almost in a veteran type of age, and he's playing his second season. The Dolphins look pretty good. Mike Wallace not happy with how he was used, but when you win, I guess he needs to keep his mouth shut. It's his team won. That's all that matters. You're not going to be the number one option all the time. And they played a good game for them, and they got the job done. They won. So I think Mike Wallace just need to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, big time. And they got a lot of problems to fix over there. They got people down. Their offense stinks. Their defense wasn't worth a hill of beans. They got a lot of problems over there. Buffalo, I can't believe Buffalo only lost by 2 points in that game, even though New England scored 23 and Buffalo scored 20. That right there tells me that New England's got a problem.
Well,
that's what that tells me. You're playing one of the worst teams, as far as I'm concerned, in the AFC alone, and you only win by 2 points. You got a problem.
Well, to be fair on Tom Brady's part, he is entering this season without your top 5 receiving players from the previous season.
So,
Hernandez is in court. Gronkowski's recovering. Woodhead, and some other notable players. Tom Brady is kind of used to playing without any superstar receivers anyway. And for Buffalo Bills, nothing to be ashamed of. You were competitive. You're hanging there to the very end. But it's Tom Brady. He's going to find a way to win. And he got them in position for the game-winning field goal. It's just that usually when Tom Brady plays at his best, it don't matter who the receivers are. Hell, you and I could be receivers for the Patriots, and Tom Brady make us look good. Don't expect them to be a Super Bowl contending team. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win that division. Buffalo will probably battle for second or third place of that division. But I'm not putting New England as a Super Bowl contending team. We'll see what happens when Gronkowski comes back. But for Buffalo to at least keep the game close and interesting. In the Patriots, people say Patriots defense was supposed to be good. But AJ Manuel, he threw 2 touchdowns against that defense.
I know. Go ahead.
Yeah, and in his first career game, threw 2 touchdowns.
No interceptions. And I'm looking at his quarterback rating. His quarterback rating is a 105.5, whereas Tom Brady's is a 76.4. Holy freaking moly. Freaking moly, right?
Yeah, but then again, Tom Brady is used to not having big name receivers.
Is he on the downslide of